Once again, a big thank you to all our speakers for the inaugural sessions. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move to the next segment that is going to be the keynote theme session. And the topic is technology trends and adoption in new normal times. I am going to request and invite the speaker on the stage, but a little about him. He is currently the Chief Information Security Officer at PwC India. This speaker has 26 years of experience in industry, having worked in the banking and IT services industry. And apart from that, he also took up additional responsibilities for Chief Information Officer in the year 2019, and he is currently leading the technology and cyber functions in driving cloud and security transformation. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Physics, Master in Financial Management, and KG Somaya Institute of Management, Mumbai. He holds the following professional qualification, which are CISA Certified Information System Auditor, Certified Information Security Manager. Well, the list is endless. With this, ladies and gentlemen, may I request you all to kindly put your hands together and help me to welcome Mr. K.S. Narayanan, CISO and Executive Director at PwC India.
Morning. See, we are technology workers. You know, the morning is not yet started. I think it is, I've never spoken in an event after an IAS officer, IPS officer, and a career diplomat. It's very difficult, right? Thank you. So what I'm going to do for the next 1 hour, Shubhu gave me this topic. He said, I asked him, it's okay? I asked him, hey, what the audience would like to hear, what is the topic I need to cover. So he gave me a brief, and I was thinking yesterday, okay, let me do justice to my speech of 60 minutes. So what should I cover? Then I remembered, hey, I did a survey within internally. I'm a practitioner, I'm not a consultant. I think इसको off कर दो. Okay. I'm not a consultant, I'm a practitioner. Okay, so don't misassume that PwC है consultant है. So I'm a 2.5 years back. It was for an internal team, for an internal conference. So these were the questions asked. What will be the most exciting technology you will see in next 2 years? This was in 2020, Jan 2020. People said data analytics, AIs, and all those stuff will be the most exciting in next 2 years. And also what you would like to see in your day-to-day life in next 2 years. I think you can read out self-driving cars to IoTs and whatnot, okay? So this is what my guys said, our 100 people survey 4 months before COVID. What happened in the last 2 years, 2.5 years? You know, things have changed. The collaboration, remote working, and so many things took precedence. Being digital. And people are asking questions, can AI solve COVID? Why AI has not yet solved COVID? Why are we looking at these doctors? Okay, and vaccine companies. So that is where we are. Like, the one realization which I have is, you may wish this should be the trend, but the trend is set by the ecosystem. So you need to read the ecosystem, your business strategy, to arrive at what is the trend you want to follow. So in that context, so I'll divide the time into two portions today. The first is, as a practitioner, what should be the key drivers for your technology and security strategy today? This is my point of view. Okay? You can apply in your context and see which one suits you. And the second topic which we'll cover in a bit more philosophical way, which is like a future proofing of how the technology trend should be. Okay? We'll not go into specifics. Today, the businesses are driven in the top 4. Okay? Today, if you ask me as PwC CIO, what is driving my strategy? My strategy is whatever I do is based on digital first, cloud first, remote first, and zero trust. Just 4, simple. Okay? Whatever I do for my 3-year planning is based on these 4. These are self-explanatory, right? But still we'll spend some seconds on this. What do you mean by digital first? Whatever you do, you make sure that your internal operations, external customers' operations, and the whole enterprise ecosystem works in a digital way. The first preference is to do it in a digital way. So that's digital first. The cloud first principle is, it is not a cost benefit analysis of is cloud better or not. The cloud first principle, you take a fundamental decision that first my choice is cloud. If not cloud, I will justify why not in cloud. Could be a regulatory reason, could be any other reason. Why not in cloud is the justification you have to provide. That's the cloud first strategy. And COVID has brought this remote first. You design anything, you first think that it has to work in remote. Don't design anything for campus, right? How it will work for a remote user, how it can work remotely is the first design principle on our strategy. I think zero trust we all know. I don't know, I can spend time on zero trust. I think the simplest way, being a security professional for long, is we were taught this philosophy that trust but verify. That was the philosophy which the world was working. I've been a CISO in the bank for 7 years in Bangalore, 8 years. Trust but verify and validate, right? Today, the principle is don't trust until you validate. Okay, that's the fundamental of zero trust. Okay, and some people define that the perimeter-based trust is gone. Identity-based trust is the most critical stuff today. I think these 4 strategic drivers, the key strategic drivers, plus the foundational elements. Okay, we don't talk about cyber security, cyber protection. I think I stopped using that word a decade back. I always use cyber resilience. Okay, you need to be resilient. As Sanjay sir beautifully said that you are already hacked. Right? It's all about resilience in cyber. Capability and resilience. Okay? So cyber resilience is a foundational element. You may ask, what is zero trust and cyber resilience? Zero trust is your strategic element. Okay? Cyber resilience is your foundational element. And whatever we do, in a user perspective, you think of a total experience. That's how the technology trend is today. Okay? People said call center is good. Wow. Oh, mobile experience is good. Wow. A service desk should be the core element of your user experience. Today, metaverse is coming. you have to think of total experience of the user in a technology trend, okay? And the other problem which has happened in last 2.5 years especially is the crazy or a forceful digital drive. Because of COVID, people have picked up whatever suits, whichever is the fastest execution, I'll go and choose that product, okay, and adopt it in my ecosystem. Now, where we have ended up is mixture of technologies and platforms within the enterprise, they don't talk to each other. If a business user wants to do something, there is a Microsoft ecosystem, there is a Google ecosystem, there is an AWS ecosystem, there is an on-prem ecosystem, identity works in some place, remote works in some platform. They don't talk to each other. And to make it work seamlessly, it's a big task for technology and security guys today, because you have to make it work securely. So the technology trends would be how to run your enterprise frictionless. That's one of the foundational stuff which is going to drive. And the last, but the most important thing, the world is moving into sustainability. Carbon footprints, sustainability, green, these are the most important topics today, right? So I think I just want to leave a small, simple point in this is any trend for today, which your adoption, plus a trend for tomorrow, in my view, is based on these elements. Okay, I pause here. If there are any questions, I'll take it in this. Then I'll move on to the next one.
Sir, would you like to actually address total experience?
Okay. Okay. See, I'll address it this way and give an example. For example, 7-8 years back or 10 years back, you just imagine an IT environment in an enterprise. Putting a ticketing system was told that we are solving the user experience problem. There is an IT governance problem. We said we are solving a user experience problem. People said, put a ticketing system. You are on, you are the best IT function to give a user experience. Then people created a local call center who will put the ticket. You also need to have a call. Then chatbot came. You should have a chatbot which answers the queries. Think of a bank today. There was a call center, there is internet banking, there is branch, and there is a chatbot today, right? The chatbot should have an augmented intelligence also to fix the problem, right? Then people started thinking about UI and UX. Now, the user, you go to the user perspective, he's saying here are too many things. They don't talk to each other. Okay, chatbot में बोलता है चार एक ही आंसर दे देता है, contact your help desk. Help desk says something. So, total experience is a concept which takes into all the available capacity, capability, and technological elements in totality, and think of a total experience of a user. Don't think of isolation. Combine everything as a total experience to the user. As a user, how will I get things done? I'm running it in my enterprise today, total experience concept. The first thing what we asked is, there are 100 problems which comes, right? Same medicine nahi chal sakta hai. Problems are different, okay? A password reset is a different problem. or I want to create a new office is a different problem. A request, right? Some things are best suited in one channel. Some things are not suited for that channel. Okay? If that comes to that channel, how will you divert to the best suited channel? Okay? An engineer visiting you and solving your problem is required for something. A chatbot cannot solve. Okay? So how will you think? You know, it's a thought process to say, okay, I'm thinking of total experience in combining and putting a best suited model. Okay? For example, we realize that for certain services, security services, you know, somebody wants to put an application in cloud. Okay? He needs to understand the cloud. He needs an advisory there on secure code development then. Okay? Then how to deploy the whole DevOps process and how to run. 4 or 5 elements. You can say, you make a beautiful document and say these are the 30 different groups, handle 30 different things. Everybody has a service ticket process. You go and raise a ticket. You'll be most frustrated user, right? So we created a concierge service. Aap idhar aa jao, we'll guide you, this guy will manage everything. That's a total experience in that example. I hope that answers the question. Okay. So having said that, I was in this, I'm a career CISO. You know, I did my CISSP in 2001. I was the 65th in India. Okay. I've been in this professional knowingly or unknowingly from 1997. Okay. I took an additional responsibility of managing technology leadership also. The first question came is, fundamental question was, the tech is changing so fast. Okay, you can't put your trend based on certain reports. You know, whatever Forrester says, whatever Gartner says is trend. As a personality, I was not able to accept that. Okay, I said there has to be something fundamental I should follow to be a kind of a future proofing on the tech trends and adoption. So one of the beautiful thing which I got, which I'll share it today, okay, is there is a beautiful book called The Inevitable. Put the source there, Inevitable, by Kelly. Okay. I think this book was written 8-9 years back. Okay. He himself is a very peculiar character. He never touches computers. Kind of a peculiar character. Good author. If you happen to read that book, it's a beautiful read if you like reading the book. Okay. Kelly says that the technologies which will shape our tomorrow are these forces. You know, it is like reading an Upanishad, okay, in a very raw, fundamental level. He says these attributes like becoming, cognifying is nothing but AI, filtering, flowing, tracking, these elements will determine the technology of tomorrow. Okay, just to simplify, I'll cover 3 or 4 in this and leave you to read this book. Okay, what I felt, I read this book I think 3-4 years back. Okay, I can fit metaverse here, I can fit Web 3.0 here. Any technology I can fit in this philosophy. Okay, and as a CIO, if I think anything within this thought process framework, I was always successful. So just a sharing today, because too many things are changing too fast. And you have to catch the theme, not the trend. It's better to catch the theme, not the trend. Okay? And understand the principles. let's cover some of his fundamentals here. What is becoming? He says that there will be no fixed products. Okay, if there are products, they will be always upgrading. Okay, the technology, today's solution will become tomorrow's problem. Tomorrow's problem is a solution for tomorrow that becomes next day's problem. Right? It's a cycle. It's an endless cycle which will keep happening. Today you are in 12.1 version is a solution for $100 and 2 functionalities. In next 1 month, 12.1 version is the problem. You are supposed to upgrade to 12.12 is a solution. That's the world we are in today. Okay? So technology today is a series of endless upgrades. You have to accept that fact. So I never go to a board and say, this will solve the problem for next 3 years. No. Solving the problem for today, we need upgrades. Right? So technology is a series of upgrades. And we all accept, right? The life of the technology is max 3 years today. When you talk to a finance guys, they don't do a depreciation for 5 years. They are doing the depreciation for 3 years. Probably after 5 years, they will do tech depreciation only for a year. Okay. So it is completely evolving. Okay, it's becoming. I think becoming is a better word. So, and you should always now look for an incremental benefit. There is no big bang benefit. If you look for a big bang benefit, you are not catching the trend. Okay, always look for an incremental benefit using technology. That's the way the strategy has to be. And the whole fact is, there is a constant discomfort on tech. That's a fact. That constant discomfort is going to provide tomorrow's solution. Okay. I think if you look at this way, I think you can relate. Just relate your personal products also, how it is evolving every day, right? So the technology is becoming, and it is cognifying. Okay. AI is playing a major role here. The innovation of GPUs, deeper algorithms are driving the world crazy today. And I love this line that whatever you electrify, you will cognify. Okay. So I put myself into this. I don't buy even an AC in my house today which doesn't have an IoT. My AC should be controlled by Alexa or Google. Otherwise, I will not buy that AC. You can think. You don't buy a fan which cannot follow Alexa's orders in your house if you are buying a new fan. That's how we have become as consumers. Right? So,
You are restricting only to the machines, I suppose.
Sir, the only order you follow is Alexa, not your wife. So, I think, we saw the two concepts. The third one is it's flowing, right? There is nothing called batch mode, end of life. Everything has to be real time. So, everything has to flow, okay? There is nothing called fixed in technology now. Everything has to flow. As a society, as an Indian society, we were an oral society. Then we became a paper society. Today is a screen society. Okay, I'm just giving an example. I was asking my kids that, how much trouble I took from Bannerghatta Road to cross the Silk Boat traffic to Sarjapur Road traffic to reach your cousin's place, and all your cousins are looking at your mobile. You know, from Bannerghatta Road itself you could have done. Because the society has become screen society. The first element is screen, then human. Even if two cousins have met after 3 years, they play in their own mobiles together, not physical. So the whole thing is screen. So any technology trend is based on that screen, right? And it has to be real time, you know, access has become everything today, right? It has to be real time on demand. Otherwise, there is no trend on the technology. I stop here. You just play this to how you are transforming your organization or aspire, you know, what we are aspiring to be, the aspirational stuff. I think metaverse is still, for me, is an aspirational stuff, still. Because for me, anything cannot be industrialized. It's still on explore bucket. Metaverse is still on my explore bucket. Sanjay sir may not agree with me. I still have a, yeah, because I'm still not able to get that fundamental answer that you put an arcless, okay, device for 8 hours. Next day you will call the physiotherapist because of the neck pain. Okay, so because it has to evolve a bit. Okay, it has to, I think the technology, the software side has evolved, the hardware and integration has to evolve a bit, but it's going to be a most exciting technology. It's better to evaluate today and industrialization tomorrow, but it has a beautiful application on health and industrial problem solving, etc. Consumer side, apart from games, the crazy games, I'm still in an explore stage of metaverse. Sorry. See, today, you know, I asked this question, and I always say that whatever you see is filtered by your friends, the government, okay, and your cookies. They are already filtering because what your friends are doing, what you have done past, what your government is watching, everything is filtered and given to you. That's what you watch today. You don't watch what you want. You are watching what is already filtered, okay? And this is an exercise I give to people, you know, I'm a privacy guy, but also say you have to balance the privacy and the user experience, right? I give this challenge to people. Take your mobile phone, disable all the cookies, disable the location, okay, and use it for next 3 days. You'll come back and say, what happened to Google? Kaam nahi kar raha hai. You will not like it. You cannot use that mobile after you disable the location information and decline cookies. The mobile is a dumb device now. It is not recommending anything, it is not filtering anything. It is throwing something which is totally irrelevant to you. Why this mobile is showing a restaurant in California? I'm a pure vegetarian. Why it is giving me a beef recommendation? You will completely lost. Okay? So these are part and parcel of the tech trends today. We need to find that balance. Okay? And how to secure it. interaction is one. I'm not going to cover everything. The tracking I covered. So the overall future direction is just a beginning. Okay. So the whole tech trend is based on these fundamental concepts of flowing, sharing, tracking, accessing, interacting, screening, and other stuff. Okay. If you combine everything and understand this principle, you can sense the trend, and you can be in the trend. Okay. This is fundamentally, this is just a beginning, and I close my talk. For me, technology is a reflection of the divine. It's not different. Okay. One of my friends said that पहले ऋषि मुनि थे, that age human का problem solve कर रहे थे. Today Steve Jobs is a ऋषि मुनि. He's solving your problem. That's how it is. Okay. So technology is a reflection of divine. I stop here. Any questions? I'll take it. Okay. I hope this 40 minutes were useful for you.
Do we have any questions? You can raise your. All right. We have one.
So one of the pillar you said sustainability, right? So technologies keep evolving, and the hackers are more skill-wise, or they have sophisticated tools, right? So how do you sustain from that point of view?
The sustainability is in the context of carbon.
Sir,
okay.
Two questions. One is the evolving trends and technology. How do you catch up, and how do you prevent from the bad guys?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good question. I think you should buy this book, which I recommended. Okay. Because this is what I found. My good friend Vikash Bara is here. I think you should put the last slide. He will like my last slide. Okay. So the thing is, practical tip, right? The practical tip is, you learn from what you do, right? What you do is demanded by your management. That's what you do. Correct? While doing it, you learn from the ecosystem, from the vendors, from everybody, right? The second tip is, once you become, when you are crossing the managerial to leadership transition, right? One of the fundamental things which should not leave, if you leave it, it drops you from leadership to managerial, is continuous education. Okay? Continuous education is the most critical path to sustain a career. That will answer question 40%. Okay? In a continuous education, yeah, you have multiple industry reports to catch the trend. The last 20% is the fundamental elements, right? These were the fundamental elements, these 13. If you are able to understand the nuances of this 13 and read the trend, hey, this is coming from here. This is how it will evolve further, right? I think sometimes you need to understand the fundamental principles behind the trend. That's what I was trying to give. I think these three together will catch it. The second, yeah. The second question is a bit more security question. Okay. One tip. Stick to basics. 100% vulnerability remediation kar lo. Stick to basics. Okay. That will solve most of your problems. It's like a cruising.
I see a couple of hands out there as well.
I would like to ask you a question, very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, you have been with PwC for a long period of time, and as CISO, most of the time, not only hands-on, you are also advising how these problems are being identified and remediated. Okay, so in my 28 years of public service career, I have seen problems from analog to digital in a mode which is completely beyond recognition, you can say. That means, So, what would you like to think that our activity, especially the activity that we do to remediate the problems, they do not reach the people who are vulnerable, number one, and the beneficiary, number two. Like, hardly our interventions go to the Gram Panchayats or the Panchayati Raj bodies who have the largest base as service beneficiaries. So, my question is pertaining to especially, policy-based decision making. So, we have beautiful policies, we have good decisions, but the activities are not in sync with that. So, as an advisor from, a company called PricewaterhouseCoopers and CISO being there for a long period of time, a partner. So, how do you like to address this? How we can take technology, advisory, guidance and implementation to PRIs? That is my question.
I think I'll put a disclaimer. Today I'm representing on my own capacity, not PwC.
No, this is my question actually.
Understood, sir. So, there are two parts to my answer, sir. As a security professional, okay, if I take my own evolution, okay, in last 20 plus years now, initially I thought technology is a fix. When I was young, put that checkpoint firewall, you have secured everything, okay. Initially I was a network security professional. So initially you think technology is the fix. Then my evolution happened, governance is the fix. Okay. Then the evolution happened that risk management is the fix. Technology, governance, risk, तीनों चाहिए. I think the technology is so evolved today, and the problem what we are talking today is so diverse today. Today, if you ask me, capability is the fix. Okay, rest everything is like good to talk, good to have. Capability is must. Okay, how can you create capability?
That means capability in a scale.
Scale, right?
That means the first stage is awareness.
Awareness, capability as a scale, capability as in each and every on the skill, on technology, on services, on understanding, response, detection, everywhere capability is must. Okay.
Creation of problem statement.
Yes, yes. So, as a government problem, right, as a society problem, who has the will and capacity to create the problem? So, the capability to create that capacity. The government has. So, government should invest and create that capacity, right? I think capacity, capability and translating into a service is the best medicine. That's my point of view.